What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we're going to be ranking every single NBA 2K MyTEAM of all time. So that is NBA 2K13, 2K14, 2K15, 2K16, 2K17, 2K18, 2K19, 20, 21, and 22. We're also going to be looking at 22 next gen and 22 current gen, as well as 21. So I would look at NBA 2K14 current gen. I'm going to actually just put in, because there's no name, I'm going to make ESPN basketball. It's NBA 2K4, but that's going to be NBA 2K14 current gen. Obviously, just for anyone who's just kind of confused. So we are going to be just ranking these based on how they were for their time. For example, obviously 2K13 is going to be a little bit worse than some other ones because it's one of the initial ones. But to be completely honest, like, it was the initial MyTEAM, so they have to be kind of graded for their time. Just like as time's gone on, the MyTEAMs have technically gotten better. So there's no point like going and judging, say, 2K22 by standards from 2014. You have to judge them by 2014 standards. So NBA 2K13 was the very first MyTEAM. It had an auction house where it was based on how players played in real life, where players went up and down, but it didn't work properly. Like, LeBron nearly had a unanimous MVP season, and he was like the 50th most expensive player. Omir Ashik's silver card was more expensive. We literally had bronze cards that were more expensive than like Blake Griffin, who was 4th in MVP voting that year, or near the top of MVP voting. He was the year after, he was 4th. Either way, he was one of the best players in the NBA, and he was cheaper than gold or bronze Reggie Evans. Players went up and down based on how they were in real life. As well as that, if we're being completely honest, the gameplay was broken. Euro step 3-pointers, dunks literally couldn't be blocked. So NBA 2K13, I'm actually going to put it in the mid tier. Look, I don't think it's bottom tier. I do not think that it's bottom tier. I think that mid tier is a perfectly fair spot to put it. I think it is one of the weaker 2Ks as far as MyTEAM goes. The gameplay was awful. Like, the gameplay was absolutely awful. So now NBA 2K14 current gen. The gameplay was fixed. A lot of the problems like Eurostep 3s, unblockable dunks, they were all fixed. So gameplay wise was a lot better. However, you literally couldn't get cards in an auction house. You had to get cards via packs. Schedule mode to get one card was 81 games to get like a one sapphire card. And it just was a bad MyTEAM experience. So I'm going to put it in trash. It was bad. Like, it was really, really bad on current gen. When you went to 2K14 next gen, however, it got a little bit better. It did get a little bit better. Gameplay looked way better. Probably the most polished gameplay we've seen to this day. The most balanced gameplay we've seen to this day. First time we saw like collector level rewards. First time we saw like just cards that you could grind for, like new challenges, multiplayer challenges, a lot of things like that. I'm going to say put this in good. Bare bones of MyTEAM mode, but a really good game. So 2K15 had the biggest like new addition, which was the auction house. 2K15 had the auction house, as well as the auction house. 2K15 was kind of the birth of MyTEAM on YouTube. There were huge wagers. We had like Onyx cards, which were throwback cards. We had a bunch of different versions of current cards. We had promos for the first time ever. Ruby cards were promo cards. Obviously, tiers weren't based on overalls. We had 84 overall silvers and 78 overall golds. We had 99 overall golds as well. But 2K15 was an interesting year. And I'm going to put 2K15 because it is seen as such a good year. I'm going to put 2K15 in... I'm going to like this. I'll put 2K15 in good. Even though this is like probably my favorite year of MyTEAM ever. Like, in terms of just enjoyment, I was in like my final year of secondary school. It was the year that I started on MyTEAM on YouTube. You know, screw it, I'm putting 2K15 in gold. I love 2K15. Next is 2K16. This is the 2K that a lot of people like talk about with the fondest memories. However, outside of dynamic ratings, which was just a bad concept, I don't see there being much better in 2K15 or in 2K16 and 2K15. They got rid of a lot of like the challenges for individual players. Road to the playoffs were the exact same. The only challenges we really got were the Kareem challenges, and the only good player in that was Kareem. Brought in a MyTEAM Blacktop mode, which is called the Gauntlet, which was kind of cool. I actually just don't feel like 2K16 was the game that everybody makes it out to be. So for me, I genuinely think I think it was good. Like, I don't think it was a bad game. You could miss greens as well, which is a bit rough. I'm not going to put it in decent. I'm going to put 2K16 in... See, I didn't like this game that much, and I know a lot of people love it. Just so I don't want to get killed in the comment section, I'm going to put 2K16 in good. I don't think it was that good. I honestly don't think 2K16 was that great of a game. So NBA 2K17 next, and this was a huge step up in my team. Cards started off as like Sapphires this year, as like the top overall cards. They changed the way the whole my team worked. We got promos every 2 weeks. We had moments cards all the time. We had playoff moments cards. They brought back locker codes. We had locker codes in 2K15. We didn't have them in 2K16. We brought back in 17. A lot of really good things in 17. The gameplay was a little bit more balanced in 16. Not as like, a little more arcadey and fun than 16. A little bit less balanced though. But for me, like, I putting 17, just because it is the year that I went from like 1,000 subscribers to like 35,000 subscribers. I went from making like 80 quid a month to this being a full-time job just in this year alone. So I have to, just for me, I gotta put like 2K17 and goated. It was the first year like budget players really became a thing. There were a lot of really good things with NBA 2K17. I really enjoyed 2K17. So I'm going to put 2K17 up here and goated. I'm a huge fan of this game. Then NBA 2K18. Like Supermax was bad. Salary cap was bad. A lot of things were bad in this game. A lot of things were really bad in this game. I can't even think of good things about NBA 2K18 if we're being honest. I really can't think of good things. Gameplay was bad. I mean, we got, like, the playoff moments were good. We were finally able to pack 99 cards. I think the limited cards, the signature cards that were limited quantity was interesting. But, like, it was better than 2K14 current gen. It was better than, I know it says ESPN basketball, but it was better than 2K14 current gen. So I'm going to put it in mid, and I actually don't think it's in the 2 worst. I want to put 2K18 as like the lowest of mid because it wasn't absolutely trash. There were worse 2K games than this. There's one in particular gameplay wise that's worse. I don't know how I feel. I'm gonna put it top of trash in a minute. So 2K19 was a big year for my team. It genuinely was the year where my team like had a huge churn. Like triple threat was a thing. We saw tokens being a thing. They brought in the new Galaxy Opal tier. There was a lot of like good things in 19. The token market was huge. I think 2K19 was probably the last year where my team was booming, where we saw like a huge craze by my team. I think 22 kind of had a resurgence. But if we're talking 19 overall, I think 19 is number 1. I actually think 19 has to go into number 1. I might bring 15 to above 16. I think I might go 17, 19. Like these are my, like 19 is my number 1 all-time 2K game mode, or 2K year. I still think 19 is the best, no question about it, year of 2K we've ever had. I think 19 is that year. So now we're on to 2K20, a year that is very much overrated because of the pandemic. I think that they brought in a few cool things in the 2K20. I think that the whole mode looking like casino didn't do well for it. I think they've made TTO a better game mode. I think they made TTO offline a better game mode because you could go and get yourself like Dominique Wilkins and stuff. I think that the Spotlight Sims were huge. I think that it was really good in what it was. Something to take our mind off the fact that we were all trapped inside all day. I think it was really interesting with that. But overall, I think gameplay-wise, it was awful. Like, it was a green or miss meta. If you were able to green 10 shots in a row, it would guarantee that you would miss every white. But if you were a scrub at the game, you would make every white. It was just... The game was designed to keep games close, which is a big problem. There was an unguardable explosive behind the back. You could glitch into a quick stop by flicking down the analog stick from an explosive behind the back. You could tween through bodies. If you attacked the rim at a certain angle, the game didn't know what to do and every single player collapsed and left all the corners open no matter what you did to your settings. This was one of the most broken 2K games you've ever seen, but it did have the benefit of like helping us through a pandemic. So I'm going to put it as like high decent. I'm going to put 20 in high decent because I have a lot of really good memories playing this game. I really do have a lot of good memories. I gained over 100,000 subscribers playing this game. I gained like 60 something million views. Like this is like this is the game I'm most synonymous with. If people remember me, a lot of it is from Pandemic and this game. So just for how good it was through Pandemic, I think the game was awful, but also like I think that for what it represented, it belongs in at least decent. It's definitely above these. It's definitely above all of these, and I think there was enough to do on my team that I'm going to put in decent. 2K21 current gen. And this is how much I will say this. I was the best player in the world during the first week of this game. Period. I think even Splash and Tile will say I was the best player in the world for the first week of this game. I hated every minute of playing this game. Unless you used a stick, you like couldn't shoot to start. And they made it so that no one ever missed. If you had a hot zone and you were open, you made every shot. If you didn't have a hot zone, you missed every single white. It was tough to green. We had a speed glitch that completely ruined the entire meta of the game. We had unstoppable stick post hooks. We had... the speed glitch really was what I felt ruined this game. We had even worse defensive AI than NBA 2K20. I personally think this is the current gen is the worst. Like, it had more to do than the freaking current gen 2K14, so I'm not going to put it at the bottom, but I think that this, no doubt about it, has to be in this bottom tier. 2K21 next gen is, like, a lot of people are going to say, but what about 2K21 current gen where they brought in seasons and stuff? Yeah, that's what's keeping it above this. The seasons. This game is the worst gameplay I've ever had. 2K21 next gen. Same thing, more polished gameplay. Up until like March or February, whenever 2K brought in the speed patch, basically they brought in a patch to change how the speed of park was. And what it did was it meant tall players with the ball move faster than they did without the ball. So once you got 7-6 players, nobody could guard them because a 7-6 player with the ball was twice as fast as a 7-6 player without the ball. And then also, like, the only people that could guard on the perimeter were 6'4" dudes, and you could just post hook them. It just meant tall players were unguardable. So without pre-patch, I would actually put 2K21 pre-patch next gen in goated. I'm gonna put 2K21 next gen in good. I think 2K21 next gen is actually gonna go behind 15 ahead of 16, just purely because of how well this game started off. From February onwards, I agree, this game's probably more of a decent, but this was a top of goated up until February. This was the most perfect MyTEAM 5v5 gameplay before the speed patch. This game actually launched. Apparently it launched awful if you were Park, and I don't know whether it was good or not if you were playing a Park, but this game launched so good 5v5. The only issue was that they patched the entire game for Park and made it one of the weirdest, I'm not even gonna say worst, just one of the hardest 5v5 experiences to get a stop. It was literally just score. I'm not gonna say it wasn't fun, but it was alright. So 22. Now, content-wise, it wasn't as good as 21. I'll admit that. Gameplay-wise, it was better than 21. Way better than 21 current gen. So I'm gonna put the Luca one as current gen. And I actually think current gen was way better than 21, but I also think next gen, I preferred 21. So I'm gonna go like this. Current gen, it is decent. Current gen is decent. And I'm gonna put this year's one in good. If I was to move anyone down, I move 2K16. I'll move 2K18 up to mid. I'll move 2K18 up to mid. And you might be saying, oh, that's crazy. But I actually think that 2K18 was a way better game than 14 PS3 is the worst by a mile. I think 18 was a better game than 21, current gen. Yeah, this is what I'm going with. So whether you guys agree with it or disagree with it, that is fine. This is my tier list at the end of the day. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.